ladies and gentlemen, you're still watching the Nile Cruise, and now we're going to talk about a very important issue, which is heritage under threat. In the heart of Old Cairo, the Coptic Museum stands as a definitive guardian of Egypt's transitional history, bridging the monumental pharaonic era with the Islamic age. As we continue to our special coverage today about the World Heritage, we are very delighted to be joined by Dr. Amira Sadik. She is the manager of the projects of the Center for Documentation of Cultural and Natural Heritage, and also affiliated with the Biblioteca Alexandrina. Thank you very much, Dr. Amira, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Dr. Amira, as we are saying at the beginning that heritage is under threat, tell us more about this.
I think since 2010 and even before, even the United Nations and the ICRAM, which is the main organization which have raised up how the heritage is under threat due to the conflict and the crisis all over the world.
Yeah.
And this is why Egypt, even before 2010, have a very good approach related to how to protect the heritage physically and even our living heritage, which
Yes.
is even, this is the main issue or approach that has been raised in the World Day of Heritage on 2026 today. Why? Because the heritage is a part of our identification, and as you see now, all over the world we have many kind of conflict, internal and even external conflict. And Egypt, as we always say, the cradle of civilization, has been very helpful for all the neighborhood, even country, and we receive a lot of our brother and sister from Syria, from Yemen, from Libya, from Iraq, and so on. So all of these people are coming with their living heritage.
Yeah.
And we have our living heritage in Egypt. So how Egypt has been like a hub for all this heritage, and has been for the third or fourth or fifth time like the land of giving and taking from, and how we can even create new habits, but putting in our mind that we are protecting our identity.
Yeah.
Of course, on 2010, even on 2014, if I may say, we have the bombing of that we happened on January, which has affected the Islamic Museum, for example. After that, we have another bombing which has affected Arish museums.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of, not lot of, but like 4 or 5. We cannot say it is a crisis because it was even supported by the government here.
Yeah.
We didn't ask for external support. This is why, because already all the organization of the country has been ready for that. We have a very good documentation. We have a task force who can interfere and make a kind of first aid for the collection of the museum. And we have even a kind of how to create a new a recovery.
Yeah.
So you can go now for the Islamic Museum and you can see a new display with a very good, with even all the object which has been, you have a very good response because you have done the first aid for this collection. You have done all the restoration, the needed restoration, and even you have created a good mitigation procedure related to the building itself, relating to how they can go, and you can see a new scenario, and it has been reopened with a very good recovery, plus the community around the place.
Yes.
The community has, and this is the living heritage, how the community
deal
with that.
heritage.
I remember because I was there at the time of the bombing, and we were making the
in 2011?
In 2014.
Okay.
After we were there at 9 a.m., the bombing was, I think, 6:30. So you can even calculate how it was very good response, and how you have making the evacuation of the collection, and you need a lot of equipment. Here you can see how the museums and staff was very prepared. The communities themselves, they come and ask, do you need boxes? Do you need what we can do? Can you take money? Or no, we said, Of course, all the teams was needed material. They go around because you are here in the center of Cairo. You have all the atelier and they bring the boxes and bring all the wrap-up materials for making the stabilization and all of this. And this has been done in 3 or 4 hours. You have evacuated more than 1,500 objects has been in a very good condition, and it has been that they receive all the needed first aid and without any theft, which has been, and was even published on the front page of the UN, how this experience is a successful case study. And from there on, I think the Egyptians have done a very good steps. You have an NGO even related to that, and we are helping the other country in raising awareness and even in building their task force in this domain.
Yeah. Dr. Amira, are the threats facing the heritage now more complex than in the past?
Of course, because going into a conflict with bombing is very simple now to do it. But erasing the memory of a whole nation, this is what can bring the country down. So it is more complicated because if you erase, for example, what makes the Palestinian more resilient, because they carry on the memory, it cannot be erased. You can even see how they do
the old generations,
the old and the new generation, even how they do their weddings, how they do all their kind of cooking, and even under the bombing, they are very attached to this is the resilience of the community, which preserve the community itself.
Yes.
But when, for example, you erase this kind of legacy, you can erase easily the civilization. So this is why it is more complex. It is related to the human beings, the material and immaterial phases.
Yeah, Dr. Amira, moving to the expansion of the modern infrastructure projects, how do this pose challenges to the historical sites and landscapes?
Here in CaltNet, we have done a very good example related to this. Raising awareness for the new generation, which now the new generation have new tools. They have tools. They don't want a very long related to, for example, they cannot watch a movie more than 3-4 minutes, and how to make the heritage cool, for example. This is like the slogan. So you have and through this you can protect the heritage. You can make it always here present in the mind of the new generation. This is why the CaltNet have put and the Biblioteca Alexandrina have put like a main slogan, making heritage for everybody, especially the young generation and the youth. This was done through creating a kind of we have like a website related to a short movies or a reels for 2 to 3 minutes, which can cover all over the different kind of heritage. But the most important thing that it is not only giving a information, but how to transform this in a digital storytelling. So you can catch them, and how you can decipher this heritage to be compatible with the new mind of the new generation, so they can find that this is very good. We can even create some business through this. So, for example, we have created workshop related to the cuisine, the ancient Egyptian cuisine. So we bring, so how they can make the cookies of Ramses II, the Shahid, and we cooked with the young generation. So this is very good one. So we done other workshop related to the la mode, the fashions. So I think we have done this on 2016. Now we have 2 or 3 of the young generation, which was at 10 years old. They have created they are an entrepreneur in the fashion now, and they design a very good designers through the heritage. We have other who have we have like workshop related to the woodwork and the ancient Egyptian and even the Islamic, of course, and the Coptic houses and buildings, and how we have an identity for our houses, and how they have they can make this kind of the traditional houses, which were very good and eco-friendly. And I think this was one of the challenge that has been. We have a success story related to how we can make heritage school for the new generation through tools, which is technological. They can and the hologram, of course, because everybody want to see the 3D and how we can rebuild the heritage, and they can go through this in a very in a dynamic way. They can. It is an experience where they can live in. Even the places and the site are not existed.
Yes. Dr. Amira, moving to a very important topic, which is the climate change and its effect on our heritage. How can you deal with this phenomenon?
The climate change now, it is not a phenomenon. It become like
globally,
a reality.
It
become globally, of course. And one of the amazing things that we have, that it is not happening for the first time. If we are looking back to the history, the climate change has been done more than one time. So, and we have a kind of traditional knowledge in the old generation related how they have deal with the climate change. I will just bring up one example, which is the Coptic calendar. In the Coptic calendar, it is one of the calendar related to the climate change. You have the Nawa, which is the kind of storms that you have, and even you can calculate what will happen during each Nawa. And you have even a kind of amsel or a quotes that has been all the quotes, for example, related to the change of the climate. When we go with the community or the living heritage, a part of what we are documented here in Kaltnet and at Bibliotheca Alexandrina is collecting this traditional knowledge to how the ancient or the generation have deal with the climate change. This is one. For the second thing, of course, the climate change can affect the buildings themselves, and I think we have, especially the Ministry of Antiquity and Tourism, they have a very good plan related how they can mitigate the effect of climate change on the sites. For example, when a site receive a flash flood, so how they can make a kind of mitigation to make a route for the water, to make a mitigation for the deterioration caused by the water. So, and this is a lot of they have a lot of strategic plan related to that.
Dr. Amira, how does Kaltnet intervene when a heritage or element is considered at risk?
First of all, the documenting of the heritage is a part of it, because, for example, we have two very successful cases. One of them is the Botanical Garden of El Orman. You know, the Botanical Garden of Orman was at risk, and even we have a lot of deterioration that happened. One of our brave team, the team related to the natural heritage, they documented each tree with a GIS map related to the plans of El Orman. When the government decided to make a response plan and to renovate the El Orman Botanical Garden after what happened on 2014, we bring for them all this documentation, and we have even the documentation of the deterioration, because the head of the team at this time, which is Dr. Ibrahim Abdelaziz, went there, and he risked even a part, a little bit, but he document all the deterioration which happened, especially to the garden and on the on even the, if I may say, we have the bamboo trees and all of this part there. He have making a lot of documentation, and they took this documentation, and the renovation of the garden was made upon what has been documented.
Dr. Amira, one final question. What are the challenges facing the center here in protecting the heritage, and what are your requirements?
The challenges that we need a new generation to be even. We want to create programs related to how the new generation coming from the university can come here and be volunteers, because we need, of course, you need a lot of manpower. And one of the challenges that like you can see, even the most youngest one will be like in the 30s. So we need this, Gen Z. I need this Gen Z to come here, and this is one of the challenges. And of course the time, because you are dealing with a country with 13,000 years of heritage. It is not 7,000, 13,000. So we need the time, and we need a lot of people to work.
Yes, we hope so. Well, Dr. Amira Sadik, the manager of projects at the Center for Documentation of Cultural and Natural Heritage, thank you very much for joining us today, Dr. Amira, in Nile Cruise.
Thank you so much. It was amazing. Thank you.
Doctor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, short break. I'll be back.